Hello, welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. This will be a very, very, very interesting video. Things have been racing through my mind on this for almost a week, but I haven't been able to put it out. We've been hoping Noble Gold would interview us, but they're so busy selling gold because everybody sees what's going on except us poor little people. Let me turn off the phone. Are the Feds going to destroy the dollar tomorrow? That's a distinct possibility. And I'm not just saying that to get hits. You know that the FBI censors me and they're a bunch of Nazi pigs and there's nothing I can do about it. So they're going to censor me and keep taking down my hits, making you think that the video's not getting out. And yet we're getting calls from all over the world about what's going on with the US dollar. So, will the Feds destroy the dollar tomorrow? I don't know. First, a little note. I've been taking vision support from Get the Tea. I've been doing eye exercises. I cross my eyes 10 times a day. I go like that. I bring my eyes up and down 10 times. I bring them back and forth 10 times. I roll them 10 times and I roll them 10 times. And so my vision's been getting better because I eat the sea vegetables. I also eat Immuassist, which is made by another company. It's not made by Get the Tea. But I use it just the same. And I don't get paid for this, so I can tell the truth. So in a personal experience, I've been taking the vision support. Well, I've also been taking vitamin B for the neuropathy caused by the FBI-induced bullous pemphigoid. Because I took liquid Advil. Now, of course, I'm taking salmon oil and their joint pain relief, and the bullous is going away. My immune system is coming back quickly. So I go to the eye doctor today. My old glasses don't work. I went way back. First I didn't wear my glasses for a month, and then I went from 2150 to 2100. So 2150, somebody at 20 feet versus somebody, if you have normal vision, you can see something 150 feet away. But if you have 2150, you have to get 20 feet up to the object. So at 150 feet, a normal person could see it, but with nearsighted, you got to be 20 feet away. So 2150, 2200, 20. Okay, my dad had 2400 vision, so in World War II they made him a driver for an ambulance for the British Expeditionary Forces. That's when he met the Queen and the whole works. Became one of his heroes because she changed a tire while London was being bombed. And then something got in her and she turned into a big, huge, demon-possessed rat thing. Don't know what happened. But anyway, so I'm at the eye doctor. And I went like this. I went, my vision is 20/40. That means I don't need glasses to drive anymore. So I put on the sunglasses because the sun is changing. You'll need a hat and sunglasses. So I put on these U.S. Army sunglasses. The vision blue blockers work for the computer, but not for the sun. And I can drive now. Now my driver's license says I need glasses, so I had to pay $550 to get new glasses made up. If you're with the VA and you don't take antipsychotic drugs and you're 100% physically disabled, they will not treat you in the optometry or the dental offices because you refuse their antipsychotics. LSD, Prozac. Well, they can kiss my rear. Or magic mushrooms now they're giving out at the VA. Ecstasy to erase your memory. Yeah, that's the VA. And they're going to get $150 billion this year to erase your memory. Anyway, so I walk out of there with 20/40 vision. No wonder why my old glasses wouldn't work. They were all set for 2100. Then I started the vision support, and my vision went poof. Pretty soon, if I keep the eye exercises up, I could look out the window and I might have 20/20. I mean, that just, the vision support. You think I'm going to go to another herbal company? This vision support works, and the essential bees are supposed to get rid of neuropathy. I just started them too, so it's probably going to take another month. Because the bullous pemphigoid, thank you FBI, terrorists. I can't say FBI without saying Nazi pigs. Sorry. But because that's what my father trained me to say, Nazi pigs. So when I see Comey, whose daddy ran the SS, I see pig needs to go to the gas chamber. When I see Rosenstein, whose dad ran the Gestapo and the Department of Justice, I see pig, gas chamber, assassination. Why were these men supposed to have been assassinated, but now they have kids? Go figure. They weren't assassinated. It's all Hollywood. We had faxes in 1923. I've got a fax from 1923 of people playing the flute and the drum for 1776, and I have a color fax of Mussolini being killed. So we've had computers forever. It's just you and I can't access them because we're just the plebes, the lowlifes. So anyway, 24 hours after the United States gave that, offered $15 billion for the Comfort Islands off Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia. Then, and there's over $1 trillion worth of natural gas and oil under those islands, but the United States, a lieutenant colonel, offered the Ministry of Foreign Affairs $15 billion. Who the heck is a lieutenant colonel to talk to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? These Satanist pigs. Well, they couldn't get the Comfort Islands because Russia responded, go pound sand. They couldn't have it, so they're going to destroy it. 8.8 earthquake. Well, now all of a sudden another huge volcano that's going to affect the people in Alaska with gases and ash went off. And suddenly, and this has been going on for a while, within our neighborhood, down south, Mount Hood started to seem like crazy. And Rainier, that way, which had a series of earthquakes 3 weeks ago, all of a sudden sprouted with earthquakes. And Jellystone, Yellowstone, which would be that way, that's west, north, south, east. That way, Jellystone is now having huge earthquakes up to 2.2. So what has happened is the United States Department of Defense, they used a lieutenant colonel to do the negotiations with the president. Are they mad? The president has 5 stars. You're insane, Department of Defense. I can't have it, therefore I'm going to destroy it. Now I'm going to turn the monopoly board over. I'm losing. That's our Department of Defense. Typical ritualistic satanic priests. I know. They've offered me to join that cult even a couple of months ago. Anyway, so suddenly Mount Hood, Yellowstone, and Rainier are absolutely rocking and rolling. The earth, and that's just what we know. There's a blackout on this. The media has blacked this out. And Oprah, oh, what a pig she is. With all her 3 or 4 doubles. You see the latest one advertising all over YouTube? She's about 30 years old and skinny as a rail. That ain't Oprah. That's a double. Get a clue. During an evacuation of the north side of Hawaii for the tidal wave, Oprah closed her driveway. Well, her driveway leads to another road that goes up a hill. She closed her driveway off and posted police there. So people running in panic for the tidal wave couldn't get out of the way of the tidal wave. Eventually, she opened her private driveway. Where's the governor on this? Well, he's another satanic priest. Where's the police? Well, they're loaded with satanic priests. So they wanted the people to die in a tidal wave. Turned out it didn't hit Hawaii very hard, but it might have. And Oprah would have been guilty of murder. I'd throw her in jail and make her guilty of treason because in a national emergency, you have to open your driveway. If you don't, it's called treason. But she refused. Why is she not in jail? Because she's a satanic priestess. Knights in white satin. Never reaching the end. Putting letters under black candles. They put letters under black candles, never meaning to send. They hold hands and go, I love you, Satan. I love you, Satan. As guards guard the doors with machine guns in churches. They rent the churches out for the satanic sacrifices. Yeah, like I'm going to a church. Church over here is a Masonic hall. Anyway, the feds, this is disgusting what the feds are doing. We can't have it all, so we're going to destroy it all. The feds have destroyed the Federal Reserve building, spent $3.5 billion tearing down a building. Where has all the money gone? Trump went there to visit him. He's wearing a hard hat. There's a media blackout about the building being torn down. You're just a plebe. We're just plebes. Well, what happens when it gets out that $7 trillion of bonds are due? What is it, 10 o'clock our time, 1 o'clock their time? In 11 hours, $7 trillion of bonds are due. And the United States is not raising its auctions. So that means they don't intend to fund these bonds. All they intend to do is roll them over. So just like the state of California, you have a school bond, you have a municipal bond, you have a railroad bond, you have a state of California bond, you have $1 million bond, it's in your IRA, you go to cash it out, and they give you another $1 million bond at a lower interest rate. Well, the feds have decided to keep the interest rate between 4 and 5%. not 2 or 3%, costing us hundreds of trillions of dollars. You know, the debt on 5% of $40 trillion is a lot of money. That's $2 trillion a year. So rather than lowering the rates and refinancing the bonds at a lower rate, they're going to keep the rates high, and you and I are going to pay trillions of dollars because of Jerome Powell. Now, what does that mean? The United States has been spending $6 trillion a month for refugees out of the country and $6 trillion a month here. Our GDP is a lie. Complete, absolute, utter lie. Trump said the 240,000 Ukrainians living in the United States as refugees can stay. Well, the international law says when you leave country, you have to go to the next country and stay as a refugee. Instead, they're flying from there over a dozen countries to the United States. It's illegal. They're getting $8,000 a month. Now, what is 240,000? Actually, there's a lot more than that. But let's say 250,000 people at it, plus administrative costs about $15,000 a month for one Ukrainian. So we have 250,000. That comes out to $200 billion a year that you and I are paying. Now, the average Social Security recipient in America gets $1,200 a month, and they got to pay for dental, and they've got to pay for medical. The government wants more money, more money, more money. Kill the old, kill the old, kill the old, kill the older people. So out of that $1,200, they got to pay $200 medical, mandatory, and they got to pay at least $150 dental. So they're bringing home about $800 a month. While the Ukrainian refugees are bringing home $8,000 a month plus free medical and free dental, free blood tests, and everything else. When they come into the country, they get 3 or 4 credit cards. I've seen them. They've shown them to me. That's why you pull into a Russian store, and it's all brand new cars, except a few Americans that go grocery store shopping there. They have 10, 15-year-old cars. Go to Salishan. We did a video. Tacoma News Tribune countered it. The Gallo countered it, got fired because he was using the Tacoma News Tribune to go to the New York Times, which is failing and firing people. So the feds have decided not to increase the bond sales, so they're just going to roll these bonds over or ignore them. Now, what happens when the world realizes they have $7 trillion in 11 hours that they can't turn back into cash and turn into gold? We've had a 7% inflation rate since the Federal Reserve System came in place in 1913. 7 into 72 is 10. So it's 7%. Things double every 10 years. So the way to kill Americans is to decrease the value of the dollar by 50% every 10 years. So we're to the point where they used to have penny sales. You buy a loaf of bread for a penny in 1900. Now a loaf of bread is $7. 750 times what it was at the turn of the century, because they had penny fairs. Big, huge fairs. People would sell everything for a penny. So the feds are going to refuse turning those bonds in. They're going to turn them away. And they're going to try to convert as many people as they can to 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year bonds. They're not going for the 10-year bonds, which means this crisis will come up over and over and over again. And the world will know that you can't cash out a U.S. bond. Jim Willie says that somebody went there with a U.S. bond and they paid him 66 cents on the dollar. So you have $1 million in your IRA, you go to cash that bond in, you have $660,000 left, because the U.S. is refusing to pay its bonds. Now, we said, this was from God, that if they can steal money from an ambassador and a member of foreign royalty, the Duke of St. Petersburg, who all the Masons and Knights Templar and Knights are supposed to bow to, like I give a dang. I don't know why they gave me that title. But I know when I left Russia, Russia was screwed, because I was supposed to stay in St. Petersburg. And they had an apartment over in the Nevsky Prospect, which was a bunch of whores down below. They figured I'd like, to worship Lucifer and hang out with a bunch of hoes. Boy, did they underestimate God. They've been at war. They've been in conflict ever since, and they're not going to get out of conflict. The Russian people are not until they honor what they gave me. So says the I am that I am, who was and is to come. So tomorrow, tariffs hit. Now, we've been going to the restaurants on the water of Tacoma, next to the port of Tacoma, for years. And there's been no trade since Biden took office. I think we've seen 2 ships coming. Oh, the manifest is there. Doesn't exist. They're not coming into the port of Tacoma. We go to the Cliff House, we look down on the port of Tacoma. I have not seen one crane operate in 10 years. It's all freaking smoke and mirrors. So Trump says in 10 days, as of yesterday, 9 days, he's going to put 100% tariff on everything coming into the United States from any country that buys from Russia. Big deal. So a $2.50 part becomes $5. I still can't buy it for less than $140. I tried to buy it for $2.40. They wouldn't sell it to me. They said, you got to go to a retailer. I said, I have a business license. They said, I didn't go through a Jewish retailer, wholesaler. These Jews are not Jews in America. They worship Lucifer. A real Jew wouldn't screw people like that. A real Jewish person worships God and God alone. They keep the Sabbath holy. They honor his name. They have no pictures of God. They have no idols. It's not here in America. The Jewish temples are evil. We have sprouted Satan like crazy in this country. So we're going to have 4 to 5% bonds. And the Build Back Better, the BBB, the 666 bill, costs us $6.7 trillion. Plus, in September, we run out of money again every 6 months. So they're going to pass another $3 trillion. So our budget now is between 10 and 12 trillion a year. So inflation was 7%, 7%, 7%. Then Obama took office, 10%, 10%, 10%. Then Trump took office. It stayed at 10%. And then Biden took office, and it went to 20%. 20 into 72 is every 3.5 years, everything doubles. Has your wage doubled in 3.5 years? No. So your income's getting smaller and smaller. Kill Americans. Kill Americans. Kill America. That's what the Jesuits say. That's what the Lucifer Trust says. That's what Tony, in charge of the United Nations, says. That's what the Theosophical Society says. Kill America. Kill America. Kill America. Every broadcast now. America must die first. Die, not be destroyed. Americans must die first. Be replaced with non-Americans, and then we can take the world down. This is coming from the director of the United Nations. Go listen to his broadcasts. No other news reporter has the guts to. What are they going to do? I'm an ambassador. I listen to the head of the UN. He wants to kill America this year. All Americans. Bring in the illegals. That's the battle Trump's up against. So the feds will try to destroy the American dollar tomorrow. We don't know. The Federal Reserve building is gone. You all saw that. There's nothing there. They've all gone underground. A couple of kids are running the entire financial system for the world. We're going to find out what happens. It's going to be an exciting time. I would have waited for Noble Gold, but I had such great success with vision support. I'm like, I can't believe that my eyesight is 20/40. And I don't even need cheaters to read normal print. So when I open this Greek English Bible, I can read it without glasses. But I can still see far distance. Go figure. So the foods we're eating and the poisons they're spraying us with and the poison they put in our water have screwed up our eyes. More money, more money, more money for the American Optical Association, the American Cancer Society, the American Get Sick Society, the American this society, and the American that society, all supported with our taxpayer dollars. Make Americans sick, and I bring in more money. I'll make the entire country sick with fluoride, and I'll bring in money. So maybe it's about time God humbled the dollar. We'll find out. Trump isn't doing anything God says, so he's pulled his protection away. He says, fine. You had 6 months. You didn't do one thing I asked you. Except Mr. Lucifer is not doing anything God asked him to do. Nor is Marco Rubio. Nor is the new head of the Securities and Exchange Commission. They've all told God to go screw himself. So this is a fight. We're going to find out what happens. When every department head says to God, screw yourself, we're going to find out what God does. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. I don't know what he's got to do. He's never had an entire country spit in his face. But you and I are going to find out. We'll see you tomorrow.